Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Alicia. Today we have sort of a weight loss topic. So I just want to disclaim right away, if you get triggered by food talk or weight loss, please just turn away. In the same vein, if you continue watching, please be kind in the comments. I don't want to feel worse about myself or be triggered myself with mean comments, etc. I've never had that happen. You guys have always been really awesome. So every now and then I do a weight loss video. I feel like it's a way for me to process because this isn't something I talk about with a lot of people. And so I think it's a way for me to process. There seem to be several of you guys over the years who seem to, were maybe on the same path with weight loss or whatever. And so some of you guys have been around and heard this all before. So I'm not going to start at the very beginning. But I will say I'll start about 2 or 3 years ago. I don't even remember anymore. I don't know, somewhere around, I will say, let's just start with when I got pregnant. My dad died, I was pregnant, or I was just about delivering. For the last 9 years, my daughter is 9, I have been on the struggle bus. So I have been on the struggle bus, which is where we're kind of going to start. I would say about 2 or 3 years ago, somewhere around 21, 22, I read this book. It changed my life, but it didn't stick. I highly recommend this. Chasing Cupcakes by Elizabeth Benton. She does have a podcast. I probably should tune into the podcast. I just don't do podcasts. This is like kind of like a workbook scenario, and I treated it as such. So you read a chapter. Let me see if I can find it. So you read a chapter, and then at the end of the chapter, there are questions. And I think the format I did it was I read a chapter and then I got a notebook out and I literally answered the questions, and it kind of brings you through a lot of things. I lost 30 pounds in that year when I started this, and I really felt like I was in the groove. I didn't think I would gain it back, blah, blah, blah. And then some Januaries are tough. And so January up again, I don't even know what year. I think 2022. I think I lost it in like 2021. I have no idea. And then some Januaries are tough. That's when both my parents died. It's right after Christmas. I don't know. But I kind of got into a depression, some sort of thing. And then I've basically gained it all back, plus maybe 5. And I feel like in the last 9 years, I've been on the struggle bus. Like, I'll lose 5 pounds. I'll gain 5 pounds. I mean, I probably lost my whole body weight and gained it back. And I can't see, besides that 1 year where I read that book, I can't seem to like stay on track. And 15 years ago, I was able to stay on track and lose a bunch of weight. So something's changed. And I struggle with trying to figure out what has changed. How do we fix it? I can get gung-ho. I'll be really good for 2 or 3 days, and then I fall off the wagon. Something I'm really struggling with is I'm still kind of an all or nothing. And in this book, it'll even tell you, you know, like if the baby's crying, you just throw it out the window. Of course not. Like you don't. And so why would we be throwing out the baby with the bathwater in this case? So like theoretically, if I could be on track 3 out of every 7 days, that is better than not being on track. But my mind doesn't work like that. Like I just feel like I have to be good for the whole 7 days or it doesn't count. And I think that's a throwback to Weight Watchers. Anyway. So that's one of my big things. I'm still all or nothing. And I just get derailed very easy. And I don't know why. And I want to change it. Because I know, like, back when I did Weight Watchers, like, they're always telling you, you have to have a why. You need a big why. I feel like I have a huge why. My daughter, number one, I want to be here as long as I can for her. I want to see her grandkids. My grandkids, I guess, rather, her children. My why also contains my health. Right now I'm better. Like I think the last time I talked about it, like I was really having I can't sleep at night. So it's gotten better, but like my hip pain for my sleep, my stamina, like I love hiking. I am very active. And so I was getting to a point where it was like painful to hike, not standing as much. That's since gotten a little bit better. I have plantar fasciitis. I have since I was 18. I was skinny when I got it. It's like genetic. But last year, it took 6 months for that to go away. So every time I step, foot pain. And so you can't tell me that if I lost 30 pounds, that wouldn't be somewhat helpful. Although, honestly, I'm not sure. Because like I said, I've had it since I was 18. Both my parents had it. but I have a feeling the 30-pound weight gain was not helpful. So I have a huge why, and that's not good enough. Like, I can't seem to overcome it, and I don't know how or why. And I would love any tips, like, because grit is not, I just don't have enough grit to just hard knuckle it. With therapy, I mean, I've never been to a therapist. Is there such thing as like food therapy? If I talk to a counselor, would that help? I had kind of thought about doing a surgery, but then, a fellow YouTuber, like we had did a kind of a deep dive in DMs, and that's a big permanent change. And I don't think like I'm there yet. Like, I'm not sure I'm that committed to like never eat certain things again. I mean, it's very big change. So I wanted to somewhere else, before I did that. So I knew for a couple years that I've been wanting help. I would say 4 years ago, something, I don't have an exact time. I don't know. I don't think I went to the doctor, but I messaged my doctor. I'm in Kaiser, and so we're like an HMO, and you kind of like, your doctors, I feel like, I almost feel like there's like a wall between your doctor and you. I don't know if that even makes sense, but I emailed asking about, I don't know. And I think maybe I don't word things right with the doctor, but I had basically like, is there any kind of appetite suppressant that can help? And my response was simply, Kaiser doesn't do that. And I honestly, at the time, I just took it as that's the truth, and I didn't pursue it. But anyway, I've been kind of getting frustrated with where I am, health-wise. I don't care so much how I look at this point, but my health, how I feel. And so I knew I've been wanting help, but I didn't really think Kaiser would do anything, so I didn't know what to do. I'm kind of looking at some notes, but I've kind of just gone awry, which I think is fine. Kind of like a little story time. But one of the things I suffer with is I have a lot of food noise in my head. Like, I feel like for my whole life, I'm always thinking about what we're eating next. I always feel hungry. I've literally, for most of my life, felt like I legit have a bigger stomach than other people. I'm very much a volume eater. Like, it takes a lot to make me feel full. And that could be my stomach. That could be like the receptors in my head. And I would say I kind of wonder if hormones, now that I'm kind of getting older, like I'm hitting 45 this year, like I wonder if my hormones are out of whack, like, you know, because we're getting to like, you know, closer to like perimenopause or whatever the beginning stages are. So like there are times, I will say it can be like 2 weeks out of the month. It can be 3 weeks out of the month where I legit always feel like I'm truly hungry. And so it's hard for me to like tell, am I truly hungry? Is this hormonal? And I don't know if I do a good job of stating that to the doctors. I don't know. But anyway, like I'm just kind of fed up. Like I know what to do. I was on Weight Watchers for a long time. I lost 75 pounds. Like I know what to do. My breakfast Monday through Friday, I feel like checks the box of all the health here. I have oatmeal with protein powder, chia seeds. Like I, for most of the day, don't eat terrible. Now, clearly I'm overweight. So there's some, you know, like on the weekends, in the evenings, 3 p.m. to like 9 p.m. I don't know. So I knew I needed help, and I really wasn't going to go ask Kaiser because I was fairly sure they were going to tell me no. I didn't know that like these weight loss drugs just dropped in like the fall or winter. One of my coworkers was like, well, what about Zepbound, which is I think like the weight loss version of Ozempic. I didn't even know those existed, but even still, those are very expensive. So I was like, that sounds really nice. But at the same time, I totally know that if you lose 100 pounds on a medicine, there's a good chance you're going to gain it back. So I don't know. But that kind of gave me the courage to go back to Kaiser. And so I made a video appointment. We talked. I had to go like get a blood test, EKG. One of the problems too is that I'm a healthy, overweight person. So when I've always had low blood pressure my whole life, any of my tests, cholesterol, whatever little panel they do, I hit the green light on every single one of them. So in the medical industry, nobody's really super excited for helping you unless you're having problems. Now, joint pain and such does sort of count, But again, as far as like blood work and all the things, I'm a healthy overweight person. And so anyway, I went back, I talked to the doctor. She recommended phentermine, which I guess has been around for like decades. They took the bad stuff out of whatever that stuff was in like the 80s or 90s that like had major heart problems. I was super excited. I was gung-ho. I did great for 2 days. The other thing is when I'm on track, I feel fabulous. So Monday and Tuesday of the week, I started that phentermine. I was on track. I just instantly felt better. I also feel like bloating went down. Like I should have measured myself. I feel like I lost 2 inches just being on track. But I can't bottle that. Like I can't keep up with it. So phentermine for me on the smallest dose did nothing. I could tell I was using it because I had a kind of a very slight, very minor headache, but it basically did nothing for me. I emailed the doctor just saying, hey, it's not doing anything. Can we go to the higher dose? And the doctor doesn't know. Like I don't go to the doctor a lot. I'm a person that I just don't go to the doctor. So they don't know me really from Adam or Eve. And so I feel like from the response I got, they think I'm just trying to fast track to like a big medicine. And that's not really the case. Because those drugs are so expensive, I wanted to try something else first. And so she's basically like, you have to take it for the month and then we'll up it. And she basically was like, you can't get the big things until you've tried like 2 other medications for like 6 months. Which I honestly never expected Kaiser to even offer the big drugs. And I'm not gaming the system. They also want you to take all these classes. So I took a Zoom thing of like what Kaiser can do for weight loss. Now, I think this Tuesday, I have like an intro to the food. The thing is, I know what to do. I know that the thing is, I know what to do and I don't know how to actually do it. I really feel like for me, food is like an addiction, kind of a disease. It's not just a matter of not eating the whatever. And I don't know how to lower the food noise. I don't know how to not feel hungry. And I don't know how to explain that. Like, I think the lady just thinks I'm trying to like game the system. I don't even know if the medicine would work. And again, long term, 20 years, even if like those medicines, like the big Zepbounds and Ozempics, like you're, losing 80 pounds, 100 pounds. If I can't make a change forever, then it's just going to come back. And I don't want that. But I feel like if I could just get jump started, maybe it would work. I need to read this again. That's kind of on my list. Another book I really liked, but I haven't, this was like 20 years ago, was Naturally Thin by Bethany Frankel. It did not have the same impact as this, but I'm kind of bad about rereading. Does that happen to anybody else? So I don't know. Like, this is just like, I guess kind of a girl chat. Like, I guess, if you're struggling, just know you're not alone. We're all in this together. And I don't know what to do. I would love any very positive tips or suggestions, but like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm counseling or I don't know what I feel like. I will also say that around the time when I started struggling with the weight again, I did Noom. And I almost feel like Noom was good and bad. So I feel like I had a lot of bad eating habits with Weight Watchers. On Weight Watchers, it's not that they ever said it, but like it seemed like there were a lot of good foods, bad foods. And I really loved their original program I was on in like the early 2000s. Is it 2000s? Yeah, like the early 2000s. But then as time went on, they clamped down. And so like, it turned into like a cookie was 15 points. So you could have a cookie, but then you wouldn't eat anything else. And so on Weight Watchers, I would be good until I wasn't. And then I would take a week off and I would basically binge. I mean, not to the super extreme. And so I don't think, even though I had kept off that 70 pounds on Weight Watchers, I don't think it was a healthy relationship with food. You can see people, have 3 Oreos and they're done. I eat 3 Oreos and something goes off in my head and I want 20 Oreos. So anyway, I went to Noom. They have like classes and they kind of undid that. They have a lot of no food is bad, all of this, but I feel like that unraveled and then created a monster. I can have anything I want. But there were a lot of things like I love hummus. Hummus is healthy. Hummus isn't bad, but hummus was a lot of points on my Weight Watchers anyway. And so I could never have hummus, popcorn. I don't know. So then I've kind of went to the extreme where now I've had it all, but I need to find a happy medium. Like I feel like that unleashed a beast, and I don't want to live anymore where things aren't allowed. I can't have this, but I need to find a way to be okay with moderation. Yes, I can have Oreos whenever I want, but I don't need to eat half a pack. I need to be okay with, having 5, and that's good. But I struggle with control, and I don't know. So I'm not willing to be very restrictive anymore. So whenever I try to be on track, I'm doing calorie counting. It seems like there's more freedom in what you eat with that. So I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do. I also have a kid. So like, you're going to go have ice cream. You're going to have pizza. And I love those things. I don't want to give them up. But again, you need to find a balance. Anyway, I don't know. Hopefully that helps somebody. Thanks for listening to my ramblings. If you guys have any suggestions on a path forward, I am all ears. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.